Good morning, everyone. Today we will start our next topic of our chapter, that is SVM, Sport Vector Machine in Healthcare. So, first of all, we go through the intro of it. What is SVM? So, SVM is a supervised machine learning algorithm used for classification as well as regression. So, it is working for both problems, that is classification as well as the regression. And what is that purpose? That SVM just create a best separating boundary. And on the basis of that boundary, the decision is taken. So this is also called decision boundary as well as a hyperplane. So SVM main purpose is that it create a decision boundary, that is a hyperplane between two classes. So the goal is that to maximize the margin between the classes. So if the margin is maximum, that is maximized, so it means the noise is reduced. So that due to which the accuracy is achieved and better generalization. So SVM is basically a way of making a decision boundary, that is hyperplane between two classes. SVM works on the small data, high dimensional data, excellent for complex and nonlinear pattern, affecting non-real world problem like fraud, medical diagnosis, and text classification. This is the use of SVM, that why we are using SVM. After that, how SVM works. So the step one is data preparation. So what is that thing? That we clean the data, label it, and scale the features. So we do these three steps first of all in data preparation, and you know about that thing. Data cleaning, label it, and scaling means to make everything in one scale basically. Step two is a choose the kernel. Kernel is basically a function. So if we have data non-linear, so we will just choose the RBF and polynomial features. But if the data is linear, so we just put a simple decision boundary between our classes. Train SVM. So it depends upon scenarios, first of all, that what we have to choose. After choosing the kernel, we have to train our SVM and then we do prediction. So first of all, just see that example, that image, you will see our data is linear. So when our data is linear, you will see there is a decision boundary that is just a straight line and having just a boundary between two classes, that is red class and blue class. So this is basically a decision boundary, the yellow one, and data is linear, so it is a straight line. And you will see the support vectors are the nearest point to that line. So those data points that are nearest to that decision boundary that we have seen here are called support vectors. So this is a case of a linear data. After that, you will see there are key concept, that is hyperplane, as I have told you that it is a decision boundary that separate the classes in two-dimensional, that just like we have seen that thing. We just draw a line, but in three-dimensional plane, it is called a plane, and in n-dimensional, we call it hyperplane. Support vectors. What are the support vectors? As I told you, the nearest data points to that decision boundary is the support vector. And what is the margin? Distance between the hyperplane and the nearest support vector. So basically, if you see the diagram, so the distance between these two things, that is the support vectors are the nearest data points. So the distance between that nearest data points and the that hyperplane, basically the boundary. This is called just like, as I have told you, the margin. So margin is the distance between the support vectors, that are the purple one, the nearest data point to that decision boundary, and to with the decision boundary. And our goal is to maximize the margin, because if the margin is not maximized and it is very string, that data points are very near and touching to it, so it create a noise basically. So we have to avoid the noise issue, so that's why we want to maximize the distance. You will see the dotted black line here. So the distance between that dotted black line and the decision boundary is called a margin, and our main goal is to maximize it in order to reduce the noise. After that, there are types of SVM as I have told you. On scenarios, we will choose it. That linear SVM is just a straight line. Scenario predicting spam or not spam based on the number of a keyword and just like that. So if we have a linear data, so we can use that thing. So when the data is non-linear, so we can use because the straight line is not enough to separate the data classes, the classes basically. So when the data is non-linear, so we have to use kernel functions to transform the data. And what does the kernel function do? So as I told you, kernel is a function. So if the data is non-linear, so we apply the kernel function. You will also see the diagram here. Let me tell you this diagram. Now you will see your data is non-linear, this one. That if you draw a straight line, so your classes are not clearly separated. You will see the square and triangle are one place, and here just like that square and triangle. So we want to separate the square and triangle, so that is very non-linear, very congested, so we have to apply kernel function. So when we apply the kernel technique, you will see it is making the 3D view. It just lift it up and the three-dimensional view is created. After that we just separate our data. So this is a kernel trick, that if data is not non-linear separable, so we have to apply the kernel function and then we can easily separate our data. So this is that thing that kernel transform non-linear data into a high dimensional where it becomes linear separable. After converting into higher dimensional, now your data is easily to separate. Thing like this, if you cannot separate point with the line in 2D, move them to the three-dimensional. Now a plane can separate them. This automatic transformation is called the kernel trick. So linear kernel, as I have told you, is best for simple data. We have just a straight line boundary. Scenario passing, fail from attendance and all that things, data form to clear groups like boundary works. Polynomial kernel is just create the curved boundaries. Scenario predicting the marks from the study hours plus sleep hours relationship is curved, so polynomial fits better. So RBF is basically more powerful and handle very complex and irregular patterns, create a smooth, flexible decision boundaries. Just like tumor classification, these are example of it. Now after that, let we go through the code. First of all, this is all about that thing. That is also applications that we have discussed: fraud detection, text classification, spam, medical diagnosis, face recognition, bioinformatic, all is that. This is for a linear data, you will see we have a straight line, but in non-linear data, we have to convert into high dimensional space. So this is the main concept about the SVM. After that, if you will see, there's some code on it, SVM. So let's suppose we generate a random, just generate a data and on two features, that is glucose and age. And now we want to apply SVM on it. So first of all, we will see for linear data and for non-linear data. So we import the libraries, NumPy, we needed matplotlib, here make classification is just helping us, and make circles will help us basically for generating the linear and non-linear data. After that, we have SVC, sport vector classifier we are using it here. If we want to discuss a classification problem, so SVC is used. So from sklearn, but you can use also the regression one, it's your choice. After that, there is the train test split function that we will use, and evaluation matrix we will use. So we created datasets by using the make classification. It just make a two features dataset having 300, that is total 300 patient. Only two features are easy for visualization. No redundant features, both features are informative. So we have two features here, that is a glucose and age for diabetes prediction. For diabetes classification we want to see. After that, we generate a linear separable data, That is, by using that thing, we have variables, classification, and all these things. And now there is a non-linear data set. Non-linear data set is just like it is generating in a non-linear way, that your data is not just like a separated by the single decision boundary. So this will create, that is, make circles. So above, make classification will generate a data that is a linear data, and we make the features, that is glucose and the age. After that we just generated the non-linear data. So we just add more noise to make it real world problems, just like that. It just inner circle smaller. So all these things is for non-linear data generation, and this is for linear data generation. So make classification is for the linear data generation, and make circle is for non-linear. After generating the data, we just split our data. You will see we have variables, train, test, split. So it means that 30% is going into the training phase, while 70% will be, 30% is in testing phase, while 70% is the training test, because you will see that the test size is zero point 0.3. So if we can calculate in percentage, so it means that 30% is in test side, and whatever is remaining, that is 70%, it is on the training side. So we just split our data and we just create the SVM. You will see here kernel is linear because first we have generated the linear data. So as I told you, it depends upon scenarios. Now the kernel is linear because the data is also linear. After that, what we have done, we just train our model, that is fitted, and then same for non-linear data. And now kernel is RBF because our data is non-linear. So we use that kernel, that is for circular patterns, and then we train models. So we have two data generation. First is for linear, other is for non-linear, and then we use two kernels. One is just for linear data and other is for non-linear. So kernels are basically functions that we are using. So after that we just predict it and calculate the accuracy and everything of it, and then we just plot it in the better way. For visualization we do the plotting and all that stuff, and we do labeling and just formatting. And after that we just predict a class for each data point, each point in the grid. We plot the decision boundary, and then we plot the actual data points. So after doing, so first step is that we have prepared our data, we just split our data, we just train our model on that data, and after that we will see that we want to predict and evaluate. We just do prediction and evaluation, and we are done with plotting. So after that, what is happening here, you will see that this is for the linear data, that the line is separating the linear data, and after there is a below, there is a non-linear data. So in non-linear data, first of all, it just lift, that making another plane 2D into the 3D, and then again it is converting into TD by just making the hyperplane. So now you will see, because you have using RBF, so you have circular vertice and boundary, and your data is separated on the basis of two features. So let's generalize that what we have done. So what we have done here, so there is another example of email, that is spam or not spam. You can also see that thing. So basically we have covered one example related to the medical data. This is just for sideway. If you want to study, you can cover it. Everything is explained in it, that all that steps. So just I want to generalize it. We just classify, you will see in our that example, that is the medical related. So we just classify our data. First of all, what we have done here, we generate our data. That are the main steps that we have done. This is a workflow of it. This one, we just prepare our data, we choose the kernel. You will see linear kernel, RPF kernel is choose linear is for the linear data, RPF is for the non-linear data. Then we train our SVM, and then we predict it, and then we plot it. So these are the steps. data preparation, then we have choose the kernel, and then we train and we predict, evaluate, and we plot. So all these are concept of SVM that we want to create a decision boundary. On basis of that our classes are separated. For now we are discussing the classification problem. You can also discuss any other problem. So the main concept is that it create a decision boundary. So this is all for today. I hope it will clear. Now we will meet with another topic in the next session. That is the k-means. Thank you. Have a good time.